You know what's crazy? We're about to close another chapter, another 365 days, another year of your life. And before you rush into the next one, before you make those resolutions that you'll forget by February, I need you to stop, just for the next few minutes. Because here's the truth. Most people will end this year the same way they started it. They'll repeat the same patterns, make the same mistakes, and wonder why nothing changes. But you're here, which means you're not most people. So before this year becomes just another blip in your memory, let's do something different. Let's actually learn from it. Let's turn your experiences, the good, the bad, the absolutely devastating, into fuel for the life you actually want. Ready? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: The Power of Reflection. Here's something nobody tells you. Reflection isn't about dwelling on the past. It's about extracting wisdom from it. Think about it. You've lived through 365 days of experiences. You've faced challenges. You've had victories. You've made decisions. Some brilliant. Some not so much. And all of that? It's data. Raw, unfiltered data about who you are and how you operate. But here's the problem. Most people never look at the data. They just keep moving, keep grinding, keep hoping things will magically get better. Spoiler alert, they won't. Not unless you actually stop and ask yourself the hard questions. So let's start there. Let's talk about the 3 questions that will change everything. Chapter 2. First question. What worked? I don't just mean the big wins. Sure, if you got that promotion or hit that goal, celebrate it. But I'm talking about the small stuff too. The habits that stuck. The relationships that grew. The moments when you felt truly alive. Because here's what's interesting. We're so obsessed with fixing what's broken that we forget to double down on what's working. Maybe you started going to the gym, and for the first time in years, it actually stuck. That's not luck. That's data. What made it different this time? Was it the accountability? The routine? The way you approached it? Or maybe you had a conversation that changed your perspective. A book that shifted something in you. A risk that paid off. Write these things down. Not mentally. Actually write them. Because what worked this year? That's your blueprint for next year. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You need to become more of who you are when you're at your best. So pause this video right now if you need to. Think about it. What worked? What felt right? What made you feel like you were moving in the right direction? Got it? Good. Now let's get uncomfortable. Chapter 3. Second question. What didn't work? This is where most people get defensive. They make excuses. They blame circumstances, other people, bad timing, bad luck. But real growth, real transformation, it starts with brutal honesty. What patterns kept repeating? What goals did you set and then quietly abandon? What relationships drained you? What habits sabotaged you? And here's the key. I'm not asking you to beat yourself up about it. I'm asking you to get curious about it. Because every failure, every setback, every "I'll start Monday" that turned into never, that's information. That's showing you something about how you operate, what triggers you, what you actually value versus what you say you value. Maybe you said you wanted to build a business, but you never took action. Why? Was it fear? Lack of clarity? Or maybe, and be honest here, maybe you didn't actually want it that badly. Maybe you kept choosing instant gratification over long-term goals. Why? What need were you trying to fill? The things that didn't work aren't failures. They're feedback. And feedback is how you level up. So ask yourself, what patterns do I need to break? What behaviors am I ready to leave in this year? Chapter 4. Third question. What did I learn about myself? Looking back, what did you learn about you? Because every challenge you faced revealed something. Every time you were pushed outside your comfort zone, you discovered something about your capacity, your resilience, your values. Maybe you learned you're stronger than you thought. Maybe you learned you need better boundaries. Maybe you learned that what you thought you wanted isn't actually what fulfills you. Here's what I know. The people who grow the most aren't the ones who avoid challenges. They're the ones who extract meaning from them. That breakup, it taught you what you actually need in a partner. That failure, it showed you what you're really made of. That season of loneliness, it forced you to build a relationship with yourself. None of it was wasted. None of it was meaningless, unless you let it be. So what did this year reveal about who you really are, about what you're capable of, about what matters most to you? That's the gold. That's the lesson that changes everything. Chapter 5. Turning Lessons into Action. Okay, so you've reflected. You've been honest. You've extracted the lessons. Now what? Because here's the thing. Awareness without action is just entertainment. You can have all the insights in the world, but if you don't do anything with them, you'll be right back here next year having the same conversation with yourself. So let's talk about how to actually use what you've learned. First, pick one thing from what worked and commit to doing more of it, not 10 things. 1. What's the one habit, mindset, or behavior that you want to amplify? Second, pick one pattern from what didn't work and decide how you're going to interrupt it. What's the one behavior you're going to replace? What's the one boundary you're going to set? Third, take your biggest lesson about yourself and let it guide your next decision. Let it inform how you show up. Let it shape your priorities. Because transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming more of who you actually are, minus the stuff that doesn't serve you. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take what you've learned and make one better decision, then another, then another. That's how you bridge the gap between who you've been and who you're becoming. Chapter 6. Here's for a great year. Ahead of us. Look, I don't know what kind of year you've had. Maybe it was the best year of your life. Maybe it was the hardest. Maybe it was just a regular, normal year. But here's what I do know. You're still here. You made it through. And that counts for something. So before you close this chapter, honor it. Learn from it. Let it teach you what you need to know for the next one. Because next year can be different. Not because everything will magically fall into place, but because you will show up differently. You'll make better decisions. You'll recognize the patterns faster. You'll be more aligned with what actually matters. But only if you take the time to reflect now. So here's my challenge to you. Answer those 3 questions. Write them down. Really sit with them. And then share your biggest lesson from this year in the comments below. I want to know what you learned, what you're taking with you, what you're leaving behind, and if this video gave you clarity, hit that subscribe button. Because we're just getting started. Here's to ending this year with intention and starting the next one with purpose. I'll see you in the next one.